Okay, good evening. How is everybody tonight? I am going, oh shoot, hold on. Yep, I'm not going to shoot. That kind of sounded a little weird. I realized I had my sound on. And then I thought, yeah. So now I'm ready. So I am, it's been such a crazy day at my house, let me tell you. If you've been watching me for a little bit, you know that my mom was moving from Arizona to Virginia to live with my husband and I, and all of her furniture and boxes, all 87 of them, 87 items, and she didn't have much furniture, just bedroom furniture, so you can imagine how many boxes there are. So I have lots of boxes in my house, and we were scrambling to get some stuff unpacked, and the movers are supposed to unpack them and they didn't. So now I have stuff everywhere, and it's just been something. So anyway, but so I really need this little bit of crafting therapy, or therapy Thursday tonight. So I hope that I'm trying. All right, I'm trying to. Nope. I'm trying to get the comments on here so I can see them, and oh, that's not working. So let me try something else. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you just for a second while I try and get my computer to do what I want it to. So I am using this Penguin Place stamp set tonight and the punch, and I'm going to show you the punch real quick. I'm not sure how the light hits it sometimes, so you might see like reflection, so I'm going to turn it over. So you can punch out the little outside of the body, and then this little part here punches out the inside of his little body. This down here is a little foot, so you can actually punch out feet too. Got something stuck on there already. So anyway, but we're going to use this to make our card tonight, just because I just love penguins, and I thought it would be fun to do. So so I hope you're joining me. If you are, I hope you'll say hi, and as soon as I can get my video going again so I can actually see comments, it would be good. Nope, doesn't. What is, I don't know what Facebook did. They did something weird. Nope. Stop that. Let's try this. There we go. Okay. So hi Sharon, hi Laura, hey Kathy. So glad you joined me. And yes, that is a cute punch. And I actually saw something today where somebody used that punch to make little Frankenstein punch art with it. So I'm going to try that one day and maybe show y'all. So that was another demonstrator that did that, so it just looked like a lot of fun. So we are going to get started. I'm going to move my stamp set out of the way, and I'm going to show you all the pieces that you're going to need. So you're going to need 2 pieces, I'm going to move this too, of the basic white thick cardstock. And the first piece is 9 3/8 by 4 1/4. And the second piece, this is the other, to make, these pieces are actually going to make the card base, is 5 1/8 by 3 1/4. So these two are the basic white thick cardstock. So it's thicker than the regular basic white, which is the regular paper, which is not quite as thick. So you will need a piece of that is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I have all these other little pieces too. I need to fix my thing here. Oh, hi Kathy's friend Mike. Nice to see you. Glad you joined us, or glad Kathy let you know that we were here. So I'm going to move these out of over here a little bit. So you're also going to need a piece of designer series paper that is 4x4. This piece of paper, it looks like little bubbles or colorful snowflakes, maybe, is from the Penguin Playmate designer series paper that's part of Celebration. So that is one of those. See, if I flip it over, you can see little penguins and little snowmen, little polar bears, little fox. So this is one of the fun prints, and then this is just one of the coordinating prints, but we're using that side because we're going to be punching out some penguins. So then you also need a piece of coordinating cardstock. I chose the Just Jade cardstock. There might be kind of hard to see, but there are some pieces in here. So that piece is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Then you're going to need another piece that is 3 5/8 by 3 1/8. Oh, you're going to love this set, Kathy. I just love it. And then you're going to need another piece that's 2 7/8 by 5/8. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a lot of 8s, 5/8, 1/8. So I'm testing your measuring skills today. You also need a piece that is 7/8 by 3 1/8. I did that backwards. It should be 3 1/8 by 7/8. Oh no, it's going to go this way. That is right. Pay no attention to me. So the first measurement, these are square, so it doesn't matter, but the first measurement is always the horizontal measurement, and then the second measurement is always the vertical one. So this is correct. It's going to be 7/8 by 3 1/8. And then, whoops, I got lots of pieces here. And then this one, this is correct too, because it is going this direction, is 1 3/8 by 4 1/8. This piece is 3 1/2 by 3. I did emboss this piece. I'm not sure if you can tell. I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe if I hold it up a little bit. Yeah, it's got little snowflakes on it. Since, you know, penguins are in the cold and it's a winter card. It's kind of a Christmassy card, so a little bit of snowflakes. You don't have to do that. You can just have it plain white. Then we also have another piece of the designer series paper. I'm going to move this over here so we can get this up here. That is 1 1/4 by 4. A piece, this is going this way, that is 3/4 by 3. And then I have one more little piece, and this is a piece of just regular basic white, not the thick. And this piece is 2 3/4 by 1/2. So lots of pieces, but this is going to go together like really fast, and it's really easy. So I'm going to leave this up here just for a second. So you can, Sharon, I have to laugh at Sharon. Her brain doesn't like the 1/8. Well, get used to it. So try it, do the best you can. So I'm going to leave this up just for a second because there are lots of measurements. When I post this on my blog, you will see all the measurements listed there as well. So I kind of like to let you have a minute in case you want to take a screenshot so you can look at it later. Next time you watch the video, you can kind of pause it on the screen so you can get all the measurements in. If you look at my post before this video, when I was telling you it was coming, all the measurements are listed there as well. So if you have all those together. So we are going to take these two pieces, which are the two pieces that are the thick, and we're going to make our card base with those. So I'm moving all of these other little pieces out of the way. Just going to make a little pile. And yep, I'll put them up here. And so now you're going to need your paper trimmer. And really easy measurements. In fact, I even wrote down what you're going to need to score it at, so it'll help you while we're scoring it. So we're going to do this piece first, which is the 9 3/8 by 4 1/4. Take my sticker off. We're going to score it on the long side. And I'm going to put this down here so case you don't hear me, what I'm saying, hopefully that'll stay down there. So we're scoring it on the long side. We're going to score it at 3/8, 1 3/8, 2 7/8, and 3 7/8. So we're just going to get right started. So if you're having trouble figuring out the eighths, if you look at your little, if you have this, I'm going to probably hold it up a little higher. See if that helps. You can see there's a little, this is the quarter mark, and those are the little 16th marks. So the eighth marks are just a little bit longer, so it's halfway in between the quarters. So it's really not that hard to figure it out. So we're going to do 3/8, so we're going to go over a quarter and then 2 more. So we're right in the middle. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to move my cutting blade out of the way. Almost cut it there. That would not have been good. So we're going to do 3/8. Then we're going to do 1 3/8. So I'm going to go over to a quarter and then 2 more things. This is 1 3/8. Then we're going to do 2 7/8, which if you want to do it the easy way and you don't want to go this way, you start at the 3-inch mark and you just go back 2 little marks. So this is 2 7/8. And then we're going to do 3 7/8. So I'm going to put it on the 4, go backwards 2. To me, that's just easier than going the other way. But that's how my brain thinks. But I'm also left-handed, which means I'm right-brained. So your brain exploded. Yeah. No, eighths aren't that hard. So we have 1 3/8, 1 3/8, 1 3/8, 2 7/8, and 3 7/8. And we're going to set that aside just for a second. And now we're going to get this piece, which is the 5 1/8 by 3 1/4. I'm going to take this away. And I have a little cheat sheet for that one too to help you. We're only scoring this one twice. And it's kind of on the long side. And we're doing 3/8 and 1 3/8 again. So I'm going to do 3/8. And 1 3/8. 1 1/4 and 2 more. It makes 3/8. So I'm actually going to take this off. We don't need that. So that was 3/8 and 1 3/8. Now, if you really want an easier way to score, and typically, honestly, I do not score on this all the time. I have a simply scored, which I'm going to show you in case you haven't seen it. It looks like this. You've probably seen other people use it. And it has the measurements right across the top. So you just put your paper up here. This is already scored, but the 3/8 mark is right there. And you just go down. 1 3/8 right here. Just go down. You're done. I mean, it makes it, it's a lot faster than doing the measuring. So usually when I'm scoring, I use this because it's just very simple, and that's why they call it Simply Scored, because it's very simple to use. So this is in the catalog too, if you want to look at it. But you've probably seen other demonstrators use it if you watch a lot of videos. So okay, all right, so I'm going to move this out of the way, and we are going to, this is the longer piece, and we're just going to do a little bit of folding and burnishing. Just going to crease it really good, and then we're going to fold it up again, crease it really good. Got something on there. Fold it up one more time, and then one more time. So we have this. It's actually going to go together like this. So it's going to look like that once we put it together. But we're going to do a little bit of adding some other pieces on here before we do that. So we're actually going to kind of unfold it a little bit. So it would be folded this way. And we are going to get some of our other pieces out to add to this before we start. So you will need the two larger pieces, this 4 1/8 and the 4x4. And we are going to glue, I'm going to take this off and take this off. We are going to glue this piece onto here, and then that piece is going to get glued onto here. Just this on the longer end on the inside. So let's get our glue. I have my multi-purpose glue out, which is my favorite thing to use. And we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the back. This is a fun fold, and I like it. It's a fun fold that kind of pops up a little bit. I'm keeping you in the dark, I know, because I just like to do that. A little bit of mystery stamping here. So now this piece is going to go here. So you just want about the same amount of border that you have with the Just Jade is how much you want for the white around the top and the bottom and the side. So we're just going to glue that on. All right, I'm going to put that right there. Okay. All right. So that's there. And then we're going to flip it over onto the other side. So now all your folded parts are now over here, because these two pieces are going to go right here. So like that. They're going to go right in that middle one. So you have like a little, it's folded there. You can kind of see. So it's kind of, now you're going to kind of get the idea of kind of what it's going to be like, kind of sort of like that. Okay. So I hope that was a little hint for you. So we're going to, it's just, I think it's just easier to glue them on before you fold it all up than it is after. So remember, so this was the one side, and we're going to flip it over, and then this one is going to fit right in between your scored lines right there in your crease lines. So it's going to go there. Yep. Okay. So it's just going to fit right in there, and you kind of want to do it even from the bottom and the top. So you just have a little bit showing. So now when we roll it, as you put it together, it's going to look like that. Okay? So how we're going to do that is really easy, and there's no like, well, I'm not going to get it straight and it's going to be crooked. It's going to be so straight. You're going to be crazy because you're going to love it. So what we're going to do is we are going to open it up. We're going to fold this in, and we're going to put glue on this. And then this, not the first crease, but the second crease is where it folds. And we're just going to fold it over and lay it down and press down on it, and then it's going to automatically be in the correct spot. So we're going to fold that over. We're just going to put some glue on there. Okay. And now we're not going to fold it at the first one. We're going to fold it at the second. Just make sure that it's tucked under. Lay it down. Give it a good rub right there. Let's kind of sit for a minute, make sure it's stuck, and then when you fold it up, it's going to be perfectly square or rectangle. This is not a square, this is a rectangle. So, okay, so when you lay it down, it looks like this. When you stand it up, you can see into the hole. Okay, so we are going to set this side, this part aside, and we're going to work on the other part of the card. So I'm just going to move that over. Where do I want to put that? Over there. Okay, so now you need these other little parts. Where's my other piece? There it is. Okay, so this is the other piece that we scored, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to fold it under and then fold it one more time to score it, because this is the other piece that's going to go like this. So we're just going to, now that we folded it, we're just going to kind of lay it aside because we are going to use it in just a second. So this piece is your white, basic whites, 3.5 by 3. This piece is 3 5/8 by 3 1/8, and they're just going to get glued on top of each other, just like that. So if you want to emboss this piece like I did, because I put little snowflakes on it, you can. And if you aren't able to do that, a plain piece of white is perfectly fine. So we're just going to glue those together. Okay. Whoop. And put those on like that. Okay. Then we're going to take these. I'm going to set these aside. These are for our sentiment, so we're going to get those two in a minute. Then we're going to take these two. This is the 3/4 by 3 and the 7/8 by 3 1/8. I'm going to move that. We're just going to glue those on top of each other like that. If I'm going too fast, just let me know. So, hey Maggie, I'm glad you popped in. Okay, there we go. Okay, now this piece, this is the piece that we folded, is going to go right in the middle of the little skinny, right in between the two score lines. So there's no guesswork about where it's going. It's going to go between the score lines. Put some glue on here. Yep. Okay. Just like that. Okay. Now we are going to do our punching of our penguins. So if you have the paper and you don't have the punch, you can cut penguins directly from the Designer Series paper, the Penguin Playmates, but we are actually going to do a little punching with our penguin punch. So I'm going to turn this around. So what I am using is one of the specialty papers is black glitter paper. And that's what I'm using for the penguin body, which is, I'm going to flip it this way, which is this part of the penguin. So I'm actually got to turn it this way so I can see what I'm doing. So we're just going to punch 2 of those. Yep. So there's our 2 little penguin people. And then we just need a scrap of white to make the inside of their body, which is this little part here. And so I'm just going to punch 2 of those. Move that over. See, let me hold my paper the other way. That would be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Okay. And these are going to go, they go right in here. See how cute these little things are? and how easy they are to make a little penguin. So there's their little bodies. And now we're going to do a little bit of stamping because number one, they need eyes. So if you look at the stamps, well, I guess they don't really show, yep, they do. Down here, there's two little dots. Those are the two little eyes that are going to go right there. This right here is a little nose, so you can put a nose on him. So we're going to also stamp a little nose. And we are going to actually punch two little feet, and we're going to decide if I want to put two little feet on there. So I didn't on my original card, but I thought, maybe I should have. So we'll see. So I'm going to stamp, this is, I don't know if you can see the little eyeballs. It's one stamp that has connected in the middle, that has the two eyes. So obviously I'm going to stamp those in black. So I'm just going to do them both at the same time. So there's their little eyes. There we go. Look kind of like ghosts, like weird kind of ghosts, don't they? And let's put the lid back on there so I don't accidentally get the wrong thing. I stamped their nose in Mango Melody because I liked that it was a little bit orange and a little bit kind of yellowish. And this is a real tiny little stamp, but I just kind of like that color. You could do, if you want it to be more orange, you could do pumpkin pie, or you could do it in yellow if you wanted. So I'm just going to give them just a little bit of a beak. There we go. And we're also going to dress them up a little bit and give them a scarf and a hat. So these are two separate stamps. I did put them on one stamp so that I'm going to stamp them in the same color. So I thought, why not just stamp them both at the same time instead of stamping them separate? So I have these you can't punch, you actually have to fussy cut. So we're going to do a little bit of fussy cutting. So I chose the colors of Fresh Freesia, which is one of the colors in here, and also Night of Navy, so that it would look like a boy and a girl. So one's a little pink, pinky purple. Stamp that up, and I'm gonna stamp a little, there's a little hat and a scarf. And I'm gonna clean my stamp off because I'm going to stamp in another color, and you never want to leave the ink on there. What is that? Little pieces everywhere. So we clean that off, and I'm going to stamp this in Night of Navy. There we go. And then I'm just going to have to fussy cut these. It's not hard because they're pretty much straight lines. So get to watch me do that. I know that's fun, right? Because evidently I guess I cut funny because I'm cutting left-handed. So I am going to cut out in the middle of that, but it's easier just to kind of cut around the outside first. And then cut that part out. You can see how quick this goes. This is not hard. This is very simple. And I do leave a little bit of edge, a little bit of white around it. And just going to cut up there, cut up there, pull that out, hopefully. If I can get that out. Yep. And you'll see if we put this together. Look, it's got a little scarf. Isn't that cute? Okay, and then I'm just going to cut out the hats too. So, who else besides me wears a hat and a scarf in the winter? I know, it is such detail. This is fun stuff. Just gonna cut around the pom-pom here. And cut around the outside. There's one little hat. And toss that out of the way. Cut the other one. Okay, I'm not sure I'm ready for winter yet because I kind of like summer myself. Maybe not the humidity, but I like the warm weather and I like the beach. It's kind of my happy place, which I haven't been to really this year. But I don't know if anybody else's happy place is the beach besides me, but hopefully. Yes, Indiana is cold in the winter. Yeah, I always wear a scarf in the winter. I think if, not always maybe a hat all the time, but try to keep, if I'm outside a lot, I do, because, you know, all your heat escapes out the top of your head. So if you keep your head warm, the rest your body stays warmer too. At least that's what I've been told. So we are encouraging our penguins to wear hats. So just gonna cut this out. I know this is the most time-consuming part, is cutting the hats and the scarves. I wish that they would have had a little punch for that too, but they don't. So now we're going to put our little penguins together. And it's really just a matter of gluing the pieces together. We're not going to put the hat on his head right now because we are going to put that on with a dimensional, because we're going to put our penguins on the front with dimensionals. Because, you know, I like dimensionals. Let me get that on there. There's one little penguin, and we're going to put a little scarf on. The scarf does kind of hang over their neck a little bit, so you don't want to put the glue all the way to the end. So just a little hint there. It just kind of hangs over just a tad. Excuse me. Okay, so that's one. And now we're going to put the other one together. I haven't punched out the feet yet, but because I'm trying to decide, you're gonna help me decide if we should put feet on them or not. Because, you know, when penguins are standing up, a lot of times their feet are kind of hidden underneath their bodies. They don't stick out too much. And the way I have my penguins on the card, because you can't see it yet, but I think they look like they're standing more than they're sitting, but we'll see about that. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside just for a second, because we need to stamp the sentiment. And this is why I have such small pieces, is because the sentiment is kind of long and skinny. So I'm actually going to do be cool, be chill, be merry. So it's a little bit long and skinny, and that's why we have a kind of long and skinny piece of white and a piece of cardstock to go on the back, because we're going to stamp it and then it's going to go on like that. So let me stamp it first. I am going to stamp it in Just Jade, which is this color of cardstock, so it's going to match that. And let's get some ink on it. Try and get it right in the middle. Hope I did that right. Yep, close enough. Close this up before I stick my hand in there. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that over and put some glue on it. Hello. Oh, now my glue's getting stuck. Here we go. Didn't want to come out there. Then I was afraid it was going to like shoot out and it would be way too much. Ah! Yep. At least I dropped it face down and not glue side down. There we go. Okay, so this is the piece of white that we glued onto the piece of Just Jade. This piece is going to go kind of about right there. So it's kind of about even all the way around on the 3 sides, but I am going to put that on with the dimensional as soon as I get my dimensionals out. There we go. So I'm just going to flip it over, throw a couple on the back, 2 on the end, 1 in the middle. And I still haven't showed you how the card goes together yet. Just wait, it is so much fun. But it's easier to do this part first than to put it on later. So, and then my little penguins are going to go right here. 1 on each side. Kind of like they're holding hands maybe. And then we're going to put the hats on. But I am putting these on dimensionals also. So I'm just going to put 2 of these on the back. These are the larger dimensionals, and then we're going to put the hats on with the smaller ones. Trying to flip those around. I'm going to kind of put them on at the same time just because that way I can kind of, I know it sounds weird, but I can make it more even that way. I can kind of see what I'm doing a little bit better. Good enough. Okay, and then for the back of the hat though, I'm going to use the little mini dimensionals because they're smaller and they will fit right on the back of the hat. So that one for this one. And it's just easier than trying to glue their hat on their head is if you put a dimensional on it and just kind of overlap it just a tad, and there you go. Right on their head. Aren't they cute? I just love these. And they sparkle too because they're glitter. So they're a little sparkly. I don't know if you can, so they kind of sparkle in the light. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera or not, but I can see it. So, okay. So this piece is going to go this way. So you want your strip on the right, and then this tiny little strip obviously is on the right. This piece is going to go right there, just like that. Okay. And we're just going to glue that on. And then we're going to put the card together, and we're going to be done. And you're going to be so excited because it's so easy. And it's easy to put the card together too. Okay, so this is the base card that we worked on a little bit ago, where we put the paper on and folded it. And so it has this little square right here. This piece is going to lay on top like this. And it's going to be easy to get it, and then it'll fold. So when it folds up, it'll fold and fit into an envelope. But it's easy to get this piece on and to get it in the correct spot. We're going to kind of flatten this out a little bit. We are going to fold this under like that. Wait a minute. I take that back. We're not going to fold it under. We're going to lay it flat. Sorry. We're going to fold this under. So this is the front. This is the back. We're going to put glue only on this little tab right here. And then once we have glue on there, we're going to place this right along the edge, right in the middle, top to bottom, right in the middle. And that's where it's going to go. And then we're just going to you're going to kind of flip it over, and you'll see that it's going to be attached down. So this is the front, flip it over. We're going to put glue right here, just on the little tab, nowhere else. And don't worry, it'll stick. Okay? Then we're just going to turn it over, make sure it's folded down, and we're going to place it right in the middle and along the edge. So you want the edges to be even with your card. Just kind of press it down a little, and then just kind of carefully open it so that you can just rub it really good. And just kind of let it sit there for a second, because then this piece is going to fold over here, and the way we get that in the correct spot is we're going to open this up, press this down so that it's flat so you can see the side and this, and we're just going to put some glue right along this edge right here on the right, and then we're just going to fold it over. So I'm just going to put a little glue right there, just along the edge, nowhere else. And then just fold the flap over. Hold this down, fold it over, make sure everything's flat, because this is how it's going to go in the envelope. And then just kind of rub it right along the edge right there. And then your card will stand up. There's your card. It will, obviously you can't see it standing face forward, but it will stand flat. See if I could, if this was flat, you can see it. It would stand like that, just to give you an idea. So it does stand up. If you, obviously there's not a lot of place to write on here, and that's where your 5 1/4 by 4 piece comes in. So you can write on it and then just flip this over and then just put it right on the back. If you'd like, you can also add a little strip of this designer series paper, whatever paper you used, on the back too. You can also stamp a little sentiment back here. So maybe we'll put, let's see what's on there. Little bit of Season's Greetings, and we're just going to stamp that right on the back, or right on this piece of paper here. As soon as I get a block, I'm going to do that. Where's my stamp set? There we are. So you can kind of see what it's going to look like. If you wanted to, you could add another little penguin on the back. That would be really cute too. So let's see, let's get this going correctly here. Season's Greetings. I kind of use my paper to line it up so I'm at least kind of getting it straight to begin with. So I'm going to stamp this with the Just Jade. Oh, oops, I just dropped my thing in there. If you do that, just wipe your stamp off so you don't accidentally get it on your paper. And there we go. Might have to put a penguin on the back here. And then you would just attach it to the back of your card. And of course you can write your note on there. So what I would do is I would write my note first, like save. If you're not going to mail this card right away, I would just save this piece until you're writing your note and then glue it on, because it would be hard to kind of write while this is on there, because it would be a little bumpy. So I'm not going to attach mine right this second, because for that same reason I haven't signed it yet. But I will put it in the envelope, and I'll show you that it does fit in an envelope too. So here's your envelope. You just fold it down and it fits right in. The little penguins go right away, and there you go. Whoops. There we go. Fits right in the envelope. And there you go. So I hope you like that. I know it is fun. You can use any designer series paper you want. You can, if you wanted to, you could have colored cardstock and make this, where I have designer series paper, you can emboss that with some white snowflakes, so you have lots more snowflakes on it. You can do any kind of things with this. So this card is actually similar to, and I'm going to show you just as soon as I find out where I put it. It's similar to a card that here it is, that I made last Halloween, but it goes the other, it's modified to make it a little bit smaller, so, and it went the other direction. So this is, you can see how they're similar. This one's a little wider, and this is a little skinnier. And this obviously went this way and this one. So you can take the same design and redo it to make something, and it looks totally different than this one. This one has a bigger hole in it because you could fit candy inside. That was the reason for doing that. I might have to do another video, show you how to make the bigger one. So, because if you wanted to, you could turn yours this way and make your design go vertical, and then it would stand up like that. It would stand up the other way. So you can do it that way too, but this way just kind of makes it a little more fun. So very similar, but it's just kind of redoing the measurements a little bit. So anyway, there's your card. So I hope you enjoyed this card today and the cute little penguins that are on it. And I hope you give this a try if you weren't already stamping with me at, while you were watching. So I hope you have a great night and the rest of your weekend. And I will see you next week on Therapy Thursday. Good night.